The National Weather Service office located in Des Moines, Iowa, sent representatives to the Vermeer Corporation's Global Pavilion on Monday night to conduct storm spotter training for area residents and first responders. The Vermeer Global Pavilion sustained damage from an EF3 tornado that ripped into the manufacturing facility on July 19, 2018. The building was full to capacity, providing shelter to employees and guests as the storm roared by. 2 buildings sustained such severe damage that they had to be removed, and new buildings are planned to replace what was lost. Marion County Emergency Manager Jeff Anderson spoke with Oskaloosa News about that day and how the community is moving forward after the storm.
It is, and it was very gracious of Vermeer to allow us to host it here. I felt like hosting it here, kind of at ground zero, if you will, would probably garner some additional interest.
The auditorium at the Vermeer facility was nearly full on Monday night as training got underway. Those trained spotters played a vital role last year in helping to provide the warning that ultimately kept people safe.
We were very fortunate to have as many public safety officers, most of them law enforcement, basically had this storm surrounded, as it moved down here from Jasper County. Very fortunate to have those trained people on it where they could communicate. We knew kind of what was going to happen, what was coming.
After the fact, it was discovered there were 3 tornadoes that moved through the Pella and Marion County area. Having trained spotters aiding law enforcement and tracking severe weather is important and was a big aid when the tornado tracked through largely rural portions of the county.
So if we can just have a couple sets of extra eyes, out there that know what they're seeing, that can relay that to public safety, that allows us to warn the bigger populations like here in Pella.
In Marion County, Anderson says the population takes those watches and warnings different now. The response from the public was evident in watches and warnings that came after the July tornado. Anderson says that his office is there to help employers and residents of Marion County be prepared for disasters.
We are, and we're getting spread a little bit thin, but everybody has been very patient with us so far. We're doing our very best to get around and help everybody that we can. Vermeer, weathered that storm, no pun intended, as well as they did because they had prepared for it. They had trained their employees for it, and they had planned for it and built up some storm shelters in the plants, and ultimately that's what saved lives.
Anderson encouraged everyone to prepare themselves and their businesses for severe weather because you just never know. Vermeer has been praised for their preparedness for such a disaster, and those plans undoubtedly helped to save lives. Preparedness is everything, says Anderson of the Vermeer tornado of 2018. It was the 7th tornado to hit Marion County since 2008. On Monday evening, the Vermeer Plant became a storm-ready supporter due to their disaster planning. Jeff Johnson with the National Weather Service in Des Moines said that last July was an example of having a good plan in place and executing it. Billy Fox, Vermeer Manufacturing Chief of Security, was presented an award for his life-saving efforts the day the tornado struck.